Fireworks explode. Tears fall. Jimin and Jungkook's love is finally revealed, fireworks loudly sparkling. "Don't leave me here," Jungkook's voice cracked over the roar of the crowd, and the echo of fireworks above made his words shatter like glass. Sparks rained down, bursting into vibrant explosions of red and gold, each flare illuminating the terror and longing etched across Jimin's face. He hesitated, trapped between instinct and fear, the night air thick with smoke, the metallic tang of gunpowder clinging to his skin. Jimin's hand trembled as he reached for Jungkook, fingertips brushing over knuckles damp with sweat. Their eyes locked, an entire history, 1,000 unspoken confessions, hung between them in that moment. Behind them, chaos surged. A swarm of reporters and fans had somehow breached the perimeter, their flashes like tiny stars, their screams like distant thunder. Every step they took toward each other was measured, dangerous, forbidden. Jimin's chest heaved. He could feel the rapid pulse of his heart, each beat a drum echoing the storm of emotions he had spent months burying. Guilt, fear, and desperate hope warred within him. Jungkook, on the other hand, stood rooted, a mixture of defiance and vulnerability in his stance, eyes dark pools reflecting the fiery sky above. "I won't let them take you from me again," he whispered, the words almost lost beneath the fireworks' explosive symphony. Memories flooded Jimin's mind, secret messages scrawled in margins, stolen glances backstage, the brush of hands under stage lights that promised more than friendship ever could. He remembered the suffocating weight of hiding, the nights he cried alone in his apartment, the constant, gnawing fear of exposure. But in Jungkook's gaze, the fear became something else, possibility, a fragile, blazing hope. The crowd's noise swelled, and for a heartbeat, time felt suspended. Jungkook moved closer, the heat of his body nearly tangible, a grounding force amidst the chaos. He grasped Jimin's hand, strong yet gentle, and the world seemed to narrow to the space between their fingers. Sparks reflected in their eyes, a galaxy exploding just for them. "We don't have to pretend anymore," Jungkook said, voice raw, trembling with emotion that mirrored the tears threatening to spill down Jimin's cheeks. And then a sudden push from the crowd jolted them apart, and for a brief, terrifying instant, Jimin thought he had lost him. Panic surged through him, sharp and raw, until Jungkook's hand returned, squeezing his with quiet insistence. The physical touch anchored him, and amidst the chaos, something unspoken passed between them, an acceptance, a surrender, a promise. Jimin's resolve broke in that instant. Tears streaked his face, catching the colorful lights above, glinting like fractured gems. He laughed through his sobs, a sound mingling relief and disbelief. "I'm not afraid anymore," he admitted, voice breaking, as fireworks painted the night sky in brilliant arcs of crimson and violet. Jungkook leaned in, forehead touching Jimin's, breath mingling, heart sinking in rhythm. In the explosive symphony above, they found a fragile kind of peace. For the first time, their love was no longer hidden. No walls, no shadows, no fear, only them, burning brighter than the fireworks, vulnerable, human, undeniable. And as the final bursts of light faded, leaving only the gentle echo of sparks in the night, Jimin and Jungkook stood hand in hand, soaked in smoke and emotion, aware that the world might never accept them but refusing to let go. In that moment, love was louder than fear, and every tear that fell was a testament to the courage it took to finally reveal it. The city lights blurred past the taxi window as Jungkook gripped Jimin's hand, the warmth of his skin grounding him amidst a storm of adrenaline and unspoken fears. "You don't understand," Jimin whispered, voice cracking, leaning closer so no one else could hear. "If anyone finds out, everything could collapse. Our careers, our lives, everything." Jungkook's jaw tightened, his thumb tracing soothing circles over the back of Jimin's hand. "Then let them collapse," he said, voice low, firm. "I don't care about any of that. I care about you, just you." The intensity in his eyes made Jimin shiver, a mix of desire, terror, and longing coiling in his chest. Jimin looked away, biting his lip. Memories of secret encounters, hushed phone calls, and stolen backstage moments flashed through his mind. Every stolen kiss, every brush of fingers had been a risk, but the thought of losing Jungkook now felt unbearable. I can't be reckless," he murmured. "People are watching, waiting for a mistake. You know what happens if we're exposed." Jungkook leaned closer, brushing a strand of hair from Jimin's face, his breath hot against his cheek. I don't care who's watching. I'm done hiding. I've wanted you for too long. The words were almost a growl, possessive, desperate, and Jimin's resolve melted like snow in sunlight. His lips parted, and for a moment the city, the chaos, and the fear faded. All that existed was Jungkook, burning and raw, right in front of him. They didn't notice the taxi slowing at a red light. Jungkook tilted his head, brushing their lips together in a kiss that was electric, jagged, and consuming. Jimin gasped, caught between shock and surrender, every nerve on fire. He clutched Jungkook's jacket as if holding on would keep the world at bay, and for a few heartbeats, it did. You're insane, Jimin breathed when they finally broke apart, cheeks flushed, heart hammering. Completely insane. Jungkook smirked, that familiar mix of charm and daring lighting his expression. Maybe, but you love it. Jimin's laugh was bittersweet, a mixture of exasperation and longing. I hate that I do, he admitted, hiding his face against Jungkook's shoulder. I hate that this feels so dangerous. The taxi turned a corner, plunging them into shadows, and the city outside became a blur of neon and fleeting headlights. Jungkook's hand tightened around Jimin's. Dangerous or not, it's real, and I won't pretend anymore. Jimin pulled back slightly, searching Jungkook's eyes. And what if people hate us? What if they try to tear us apart? Can you handle that? His voice was trembling, but beneath the fear was a spark of defiance. I can handle anything, Jungkook said without hesitation, as long as I have you. The words struck Jimin like a lightning bolt. He wanted to believe them, to surrender fully to the reckless, intense pull of Jungkook's love, but the memory of whispered rumors backstage and the cold eyes of judgment in public spaces made his stomach knot. It's not just rumors, he whispered. It's not just people talking, there's someone who won't stop until they destroy us. Jungkook stiffened, eyes narrowing, muscles coiling with protective instinct. Who? He demanded, his voice dropping to a dangerous growl. Tell me. And I'll deal with them. Jimin hesitated, fear flickering in his eyes. I can't, not yet, but you need to be careful. They know more than we think. Jungkook's fingers tightened into a fist on the leather seat. Then we fight, he said, fierce and unrelenting. Whatever it takes, no one touches you. The car fell silent for a moment, the tension pressing against them like a physical weight. And then Jimin, unable to resist the pull any longer, leaned in, burying his face against Jungkook's chest. I can't lose you, he whispered, voice muffled but raw. You won't, Jungkook murmured, one hand threading through Jimin's hair, the other gripping his shoulder. Not now, not ever. Outside, the city hummed with life, oblivious to the storm within the taxi. Inside, hearts raced, breaths mingled, and the fragile line between fear and desire blurred. Every whispered confession, every stolen glance, every trembling touch was a battle cry. They were alive, burning, defying the world for a love that refused to hide. And in the shadows of the night, amidst the neon and the distant hum of fireworks still echoing in memory, Jimin and Jungkook held on to each other, fragile, defiant, unyielding. They didn't know what awaited them outside the taxi doors, who would stand in their way, or how many dangers loomed. But in that moment, nothing mattered except the undeniable, explosive truth of what they felt for each other. The room smelled of rain and cigarette smoke, the city's neon lights bleeding through the cracked blinds, casting stripes of color across the floor. Jimin pressed himself against the wall, chest heaving, as Jungkook leaned close, fingers gripping his jaw, forcing him to meet those storm-dark eyes. You can't keep running from this, Jungkook said, voice low but sharp, dangerous, a whisper that demanded obedience. I'm not running, Jimin snapped, trying to steady his trembling hands. I'm thinking, I can't just throw everything away. People will hate us, Jungkook. They'll what? Jungkook interrupted, cutting him off, his breath hot against Jimin's ear. Call us names, spread rumors. Let me tell you something, fuck them. None of them matter, not if we're together. His words were fire and steel, pressing against every hidden fear Jimin had buried for months. Jimin swallowed, feeling the heat of Jungkook's body, the magnetic pull that made rational thought crumble. It's not just that, he admitted, voice barely audible. There's someone who's been watching, waiting. They know things, secrets, things about us. If they come out. His sentence hung in the air, unfinished, as a chill crawled down his spine. Jungkook's eyes darkened, a protective rage flaring. Tell me now, he demanded, his hands tightening around Jimin's arms. I can't protect you if I don't know who it is. Jimin hesitated, guilt and fear flickering across his face. It's T, he whispered finally. He's jealous, obsessed. He's been trying to control everything, us, the fans, the media. He wants to ruin us, Jungkook. Jungkook's fingers dug into Jimin's arms, not hurting, but firm, demanding attention. He won't, not while I'm here, not while I can. His words cut off as Jimin pressed a finger to his lips, shaking his head. Don't promise that, Jimin said, tears threatening again. You don't know what he's capable of. Jungkook's chest tightened, jaw clenched. The room felt smaller, suffocating, charged with tension. Then we face it together, he said finally, softer now, but every syllable heavy with conviction. Whatever comes, we fight. No secrets, no hiding, just us. Jimin looked into his eyes, seeing the raw intensity, the undeniable love mixed with danger. He wanted to believe, to surrender fully, but the knot in his stomach refused to loosen. And if we lose? He asked, voice trembling, barely a whisper. Jungkook cupped his face, brushing away a stray tear with a thumb. Then we fall together, he said, lips brushing Jimin's temple. But I'm not letting go, never again. The phone on the table buzzed violently, breaking the fragile moment. Jimin froze as he saw T's name flash across the screen. Panic surged. He's here, he hissed, eyes wide, heart racing. He knows where we are. Jungkook's hand moved instinctively, sliding to Jimin's back, pulling him close. Stay with me, he ordered, voice low, fierce. No one touches you, not him, not anyone. The door slammed open before either of them could react. T's silhouette filled the frame, a smirk twisting his features. Well, he drawled, voice dripping with malice. Look who finally decided to show their true colors. Jimin's body froze, and Jungkook stepped forward, placing himself between T and Jimin. Step away, Jungkook said, the warning in his tone sharp as a knife. You don't get to scare him. You don't get to touch him. T laughed, a low, dangerous sound. Scare him? Oh, I don't need to. He's scared already, scared of what the world will think. But you... His gaze shifted to Jungkook, eyes glinting with challenge. You think you can protect him from me. Jungkook's fist tightened, muscles coiling. I don't think, I know. He lunged forward, grabbing T by the collar, shoving him back against the wall. The tension exploded like fireworks, raw and violent, filling the room with the taste of adrenaline and fear. Jimin's hand shot out, gripping Jungkook's arm, his own fear mixed with a strange thrill. Stop, he shouted, voice cracking. Please, don't let it get worse, just leave. T's smirk faltered for a fraction of a second as he looked at Jimin, and something flickered, envy, desire, something dark and twisted. You always had to choose the impossible, he hissed. The one you can't have. Jungkook's eyes blazed, a dangerous fire igniting in their depths. I'm not letting go, he said, voice low, trembling with intensity. Not you, not ever. Jimin felt his knees weaken, chest tight, and for the first time he realized just how deep his feelings ran, how much he had already surrendered to this reckless, fiery love. Jungkook was no longer just a crush, a secret, a fleeting moment. He was everything dangerous, relentless, intoxicating. The room felt impossibly small, the air thick with tension, desire, and fear. Jimin's hands found Jungkook, gripping tightly, and in that grasp they both found grounding, a tether against the storm. T stepped back slowly, realizing this wasn't a fight he could win, at least not tonight. Jimin exhaled shakily, resting his head against Jungkook's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart, his warmth, his unyielding presence. I can't believe this is real, he whispered. It's real, Jungkook said, voice low, fierce yet tender. And it's only going to get stronger. We'll face everything, together. And in the shadowed apartment, the storm outside mirroring the turmoil inside. Jimin and Jungkook held each other tight, a fragile fortress of love and defiance. ready to confront whatever fire awaited them in the world beyond. The nightclub pulsed with bass that seemed to rattle the bones, neon lights flickering over sweaty bodies and clinking glasses. Jimin's hand shook as he gripped Jungkook's wrist, pulling him through the crowd, every eye in the room seeming to zero in on them. "Why here?" Jimin hissed, voice low, heart hammering. "This is madness. We shouldn't." Jungkook cut him off with a firm tug, pressing their bodies together as they moved closer to a secluded booth in the corner. "Because hiding is over, Jimin," he said, voice husky, dangerous. "I don't want shadows. I want everything out in the open." His eyes, dark and commanding, burned into Jimin's, and for a moment the noise of the club faded, leaving only the pulse of desire between them. Jimin exhaled sharply, trying to steady himself. "You don't understand. If anyone sees us, people will freak out. The tabloids, the fans, they'll crucify us. And he'll use it. He'll destroy everything." Jungkook leaned closer, lips brushing the shell of Jimin's ear. "Then let him try," he whispered, teeth grazing skin, the heat of his body igniting a fire in Jimin that he couldn't deny. "We'll deal with him together. No one controls this. Not him, not anyone, you're mine." Jimin's breath hitched, his body trembling under the intensity of Jungkook's words and touch. "Stop," he murmured, half protesting, half surrendering. "People are watching." Jungkook smirked, bold and unrelenting. "Let them watch," he said, capturing Jimin's lips in a searing kiss that left him gasping. Fingers threaded through hair, pulling him closer, and for a moment the rest of the world didn't exist. There was only heat, tension, and the undeniable truth of what they felt for each other. But the moment shattered when a familiar, venomous voice cut through the haze. "Well, isn't this a scandal waiting to happen?" T stepped into the neon glow, drink in hand, smirk plastered across his face. The room seemed to shrink, eyes of strangers suddenly pinning Jimin and Jungkook like prey. Jimin froze, panic flaring in his chest. "T," he whispered, voice trembling. "What are you doing here?" T's eyes gleamed with dark amusement. "I thought I'd drop by," he said, moving closer, deliberately close enough to make Jimin flinch. "Can't have you sneaking around, can we?" Jungkook's hand found Jimin, again clutching him protectively. "Step back," he warned, voice low, dangerous, a storm ready to break. "You don't scare him, you don't touch him." T laughed, the sound cold and sharp. "Touch him? Oh, I don't need to. He's already mine in some ways, but you..." His gaze locked on Jungkook, dark with challenge. "You think you can keep him away from me?" Jungkook's fist tightened, muscles coiling, but he didn't lunge immediately. He leaned down, voice steady but ice cold. "I said step back. One move and you'll regret it." The tension between the three of them was almost physical, a taut wire straining to snap. Jimin's body shook as he tried to find his voice. "Please stop. Don't make this worse. Just leave us alone." T's smirk faltered for just a second, replaced by something darker, desire, envy, obsession. "You think love makes you invincible," he hissed, taking a slow step closer. "Love doesn't save you from consequences." Jungkook's eyes blazed, heat radiating off him. He leaned in close to Jimin, brushing lips against his temple. "I'll be your consequence," he murmured, his voice rough with intensity. "And I'll fight for you, no matter what." Jimin's knees felt weak, chest tight, his body torn between fear, desire, and a dizzying sense of inevitability. "You're insane," he whispered, voice trembling, eyes brimming with tears. "Completely, dangerously insane." Jungkook's smile was fierce, possessive, and undeniably intoxicating. "And you love it," he said softly, pulling Jimin against him, the world around them fading into a blur of music, lights, and tension. T stepped back slowly, realizing that this fight, at least tonight, wasn't his to win. But the dangerous glint in his eyes promised that he wasn't done, that the storm had only just begun. Jimin leaned against Jungkook, trembling, exhausted, yet unable to resist the magnetic pull of his presence. I don't know how to survive this," he admitted, voice muffled against Jungkook's chest. "You don't have to," Jungkook whispered, fingers threading through his hair, drawing him closer. "Because I will survive it for both of us. We'll survive it together." The night pulsed around them, chaotic, electric, and full of secrets waiting to erupt. Yet in that moment, hand in hand, body pressed close, hearts pounding in sync, Jimin and Jungkook discovered a dangerous, unshakable truth. Love like this could consume, it could destroy, but it was worth every risk, every fear, every storm yet to come. The hotel room smelled of perfume and sweat, the dim light from the city outside painting long shadows across the walls. Jimin sat on the edge of the bed, fingers twisting the hem of his shirt, heart racing so violently it was almost painful. Jungkook paced the room like a caged animal, tension coiling in his shoulders, every movement charged with urgency. "You can't just sit there," he growled, voice low, dangerous. "We have to deal with this now. It's getting out of control." Jimin's eyes darted nervously to the window, as if expecting cameras or reporters to materialize out of the night. "I know, but it's too much. Every step we take, someone's watching, waiting to ruin us. T isn't the only one. There are whispers, rumors spreading. If this blows up, Jungkook, I don't know if we can survive it." Jungkook's chest heaved with frustration, but he stepped closer, closing the distance, eyes dark and fierce. "Then we survive it together. We've been careful, hiding, whispering, but no more. I won't let anyone dictate who you belong to, Jimin. Not him, not them, not the world." Jimin shivered under the intensity, the combination of fear, desire, and longing tangling inside him. "You don't understand. This could destroy everything, our careers, our lives. You're putting yourself on the line for me." Jungkook cupped Jimin's face, thumbs brushing along the curve of his jaw, holding him so close that words were almost unnecessary. "I don't care about my career," he said, voice raw, trembling with passion. "I care about you, only you, and if that means risking everything, then so be it." Jimin's breath hitched, body trembling. He wanted to argue, to fight the pull, but the storm in Jungkook's eyes and the heat of his body made resistance impossible. I can't lose you," he whispered, lips quivering, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "You won't," Jungkook replied, voice fierce and possessive. "I'm not letting go, not now, not ever." His lips found Jimin's in a kiss that was urgent, consuming, leaving both of them breathless and shaking. Every brush of skin, every gasp and sigh carried the weight of months of hidden longing, fear, and desire. The sound of the phone vibrating violently on the nightstand shattered the fragile intimacy, jolting Jimin upright. "It's him," Jimin whispered, panic lacing his voice. He's trying to reach me." Jungkook grabbed the phone before Jimin could, staring at the screen, jaw tight. He pressed it to speaker, letting T's smug voice fill the room. Well, T said, slow and deliberate, each word dripping with venom. "I see you've both decided to play with fire. Careful, boys, fire burns." Jimin's hands flew to cover his face, heart hammering. "He knows," he whispered, voice trembling. "He knows everything. He's going to ruin us." Jungkook's fist slammed onto the nightstand, rattling the phone. "Not a chance," he snapped. "You think you can control him, control me? You're insane if you believe that." T laughed, dark and dangerous. "Oh, I know I can. You're weak when it comes to him, Jungkook, admit it. You'll do anything for him. Anything, that's your weakness." Jimin's chest tightened at T's words, but Jungkook's grip on his shoulders was fierce, grounding, protective. "You're wrong," Jungkook said, voice low, trembling with rage and determination. "He's not my weakness, he's my strength, and anyone who threatens him will regret it." T's voice dropped, a dangerous whisper that made the hairs on Jimin's neck stand on end. "We'll see about that. You can't protect him forever. Secrets always come out." The line went dead, leaving a heavy silence that pressed against the room like a physical force. Jimin's hands were shaking, tears spilling down his cheeks, and Jungkook pulled him into his chest, wrapping arms tight, holding him as if he could shield him from the world itself. "It's okay," Jungkook whispered, voice rough with emotion. "I've got you, we'll face this together. No one will touch you, I swear it." Jimin buried his face against Jungkook's shoulder, sobs shaking his body. "I'm scared," he admitted, raw, unguarded. "I don't know if I can handle this." Jungkook's lips brushed the top of Jimin's head. "You don't have to," he murmured. "Because I can, I'll carry us through it. Whatever comes, whatever he throws at us, we'll survive, together." The city lights outside flickered against the walls, a chaotic mirror of the storm inside. Every pulse of neon, every distant siren, every shadow seemed to echo the danger that stalked them. Yet in the middle of the fear, the tension, the imminent threat, there was only Jungkook and Jimin, two hearts beating wildly, tethered together in defiance, desire, and love. Jimin finally lifted his head, wiping the tears from his face, eyes searching Jungkook. Promise me you won't let him win." Jungkook pressed a hand to Jimin's cheek, thumb brushing away the last of his tears. "I promise," he said, voice deep, unwavering. "No matter what, we survive this together, and nothing, no one will come between us." The storm outside raged on, the city alive with chaos, but inside that dim hotel room, amidst trembling breaths, racing hearts, and desperate whispers, Jimin and Jungkook held onto each other, a defiant, unbreakable force against the world. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered vow was a rebellion, a declaration, a fire that refused to be extinguished. And though danger lurked, though secrets threatened to explode, in that moment love was louder than fear, and they would face the coming tempest together. The rain pounded against the glass of the penthouse windows, streaking the city lights into a kaleidoscope of color and chaos. Jimin stood near the balcony, hands clutched around a glass of wine, staring down at the streets below, mind racing, heart hammering. Jungkook appeared behind him, pressing close, his presence a mix of heat and danger that made Jimin's breath hitch. "You shouldn't be out here alone," Jungkook said, voice low, demanding, yet tinged with worry. "I need space," Jimin murmured, eyes fixed on the city below, trying to keep his composure. "Everything's spinning, Jungkook. The rumors, tea, the media, I feel like I'm drowning." Jungkook's hands found Jimin's shoulders, gripping firmly, pulling him slightly back so their bodies pressed together. "Then hold on to me," he said, his gaze piercing. "You're not drowning, not while I'm here, not while I'm with you." Jimin's fingers trembled, brushing against Jungkook's chest, feeling the tense muscles beneath his shirt. "You don't understand," he said, voice tight with desperation. "People are watching, judging, waiting for us to fail. T's not the only one. They're everywhere, and if one slip happens—" "You're thinking too much," Jungkook interrupted, tilting Jimin's chin up so their eyes met. "You think I care about them, about what anyone thinks. I care about you, only you, and if anyone tries to hurt you, they'll have to go through me." Jimin's knees weakened slightly, desire and fear twisting inside him like a storm. "You're reckless," he whispered, voice shaky, lips barely moving. "Completely insane, and yet I can't resist you." Jungkook smirked, that dangerous, magnetic smile that made Jimin's heart stutter. "Then don't resist," he said, pulling Jimin into his chest, the heat of their bodies colliding, breaths mingling, pulses racing in tandem. "Stop thinking, stop hiding, just feel." Jimin shivered, torn between wanting to fight the pull and surrendering fully. I don't know if I can," he admitted, voice trembling. "It's too much too fast." "It's never too much when it's real," Jungkook murmured, lips brushing the corner of Jimin's mouth. "And this, what we have, it's everything." Before Jimin could respond, a sudden knock at the door jolted both of them. Their heads snapped toward the sound, hearts lurching. "Who?" Jimin began, but Jungkook's hand covered his mouth, eyes narrowing. "Stay," he ordered, voice low, dangerous. "Let me handle it." The door opened slowly, and T stepped inside, drenched from the rain, eyes glinting with calculated menace. Well, he said, voice smooth but venomous. "Looks like you've been hiding under each other's skin. How intimate." Jimin's chest tightened, panic and desire clashing violently. "T, please," he whispered, voice cracking. "Just leave." Jungkook stepped forward, body tense, ready to strike. "Step back," he growled. "You're not welcome here." T's smirk widened, dark and predatory. "Oh, I'm welcome wherever I want," he said, moving closer. "And you think you can just claim him as if he's yours alone. You're delusional, Jungkook." Jimin's hands flew to Jungkook's chest, desperate, trembling. Don't fight him," he pleaded, voice cracking. "Please, Jungkook, don't make it worse, just stay calm." Jungkook's eyes blazed, jaw clenched, fingers tightening into fists. "Calm," he repeated, voice low, dangerous. You threatened him. You threatened him, and I will protect him. Do you hear me? I will not let anyone touch him. T's laugh was a sharp, dangerous sound, echoing off the walls. Protect him, from me. You think you can control him, control what he feels. He's drawn to me too, don't forget that. Jimin's body shook, heart racing, fear and confusion battling desire and love. No, he belongs to you, T whispered, leaning close, voice honeyed with malice. You can't fight this. Jungkook's hand shot out, gripping T's collar and shoving him back against the wall. I told you one move, and you'll regret it, he said, voice sharp, unwavering. His chest heaved, anger and passion crackling in the air like electricity. Jimin's lips trembled as he pressed himself against Jungkook, feeling the intensity radiating off him, heat, danger, and an unyielding promise of protection. I can't. I don't want to lose you, he whispered, voice raw, barely audible over the tension. You won't lose me, Jungkook said, voice rough, possessive. Not now, not ever. I'll fight for you until the end, and no one, absolutely no one, will take you from me. T took a step back, realizing the walls of this fierce, unbreakable bond were stronger than he expected, but the darkness in his eyes promised he wasn't finished. This isn't over, he said, voice low, dangerous. Not by a long shot. Jimin buried his face against Jungkook's chest, body trembling, tears streaking down his cheeks. I love you, he whispered, voice muffled but unwavering. Jungkook pressed his forehead to Jimin's, lips brushing his hairline, heartbeat syncing with his. I love you too, he murmured. And no matter what he does, no matter what the world throws at us, we survive together, always. Outside, the rain pelted the city, a relentless rhythm against glass and pavement, mirroring the storm within the penthouse. Inside, two hearts burned, fierce and untamed, refusing to be broken, refusing to be hidden. Every breath, every touch, every whispered vow was a rebellion, a declaration, a fire that could not be extinguished. Jimin clung to Jungkook, feeling the world collapse and spin around them, yet grounded in the undeniable truth that love, dangerous, consuming, all-encompassing, was theirs to claim. And though threats lingered, secrets loomed, and chaos waited beyond the door, in that room they were untouchable, unbreakable, and fiercely, irrevocably alive. The rain had stopped, leaving the city slick and shimmering under the pale glow of streetlights. Jimin and Jungkook stood on the rooftop, bodies close, drenched, hearts still hammering from the storm they had just survived, both outside and within. The night was quiet now, save for the soft drip of water from the edge of the building and the distant hum of the city below. Jimin pressed his forehead against Jungkook, breath mingling, chest rising and falling in unison. We made it, he whispered, voice trembling, soaked with tears and rain. I can't believe we actually made it. Jungkook's hands held Jimin's face, thumbs brushing along his cheeks, grounding him, anchoring him. We did, he said softly, voice low but certain. Through everything, the rumors, the chaos, we survived, and we'll keep surviving, together. Jimin smiled faintly, a tear slipping down his cheek despite the rain washing it away. I don't care about the world anymore, he admitted. I just want you. That's all that matters. Jungkook's lips curved into a soft, possessive smile. Then you have me, he said. Forever, no more hiding, no more fear, only us. They leaned into each other, finally letting the weight of months of secrecy, fear, and longing melt away. In the quiet aftermath of the storm, every touch, every glance, every whispered word was an unspoken promise. Their love was unbreakable, unstoppable, and free. The city stretched below them, endless and chaotic, but on that rooftop, drenched in moonlight and the lingering scent of rain, nothing else mattered. Fireworks no longer burst in the sky. They had created their own blaze, a love that shone brighter than any storm, brighter than any rumor, brighter than the fear that had once threatened to tear them apart. Jimin buried his face against Jungkook's chest one last time, wrapping his arms around him, and whispered, I'm yours. Jungkook held him tight, pressing a kiss to his hair, voice low, tender, and unwavering. And I'm yours, always. And in that moment, soaked in rain, fear, and unyielding love, Jimin and Jungkook finally found peace together, unafraid and infinitely alive.